was an opportunity that came up for you back in, I believe it was in the early 80s?
It was my good friend Al Hanna, who I raced many times in Nitro Funny Car Action match racing. He had the desire and the hope to put a jet funny car together to add to the Nitro Funny Car program that he had.
Cool.
And we talked quite a bit about it. And out of the blue one day in the summer of 1981, he calls me and he says, "What do you think about coming and driving the new jet funny car for us?" Yeah, I don't have to think too hard about that. And at the end of 1981, I left the dragway and I went to work with Al Hanna on the new Eastern Raider Ford EXP jet funny car. And the only thing Al and I knew about jets were air was supposed to go in the front, fire was supposed to come out the back. It didn't quite work out that way. There were construction delays, there were bogus engine parts that were supplied, there were promises broken, there was a lot of things that went wrong, and I went broke. I had to leave the project and come back to Boston and get a job. But Al Hanna persevered and went on to have perhaps the finest jet car program out there today with 3 cars. And a dear friend who has sadly passed on a couple of weeks ago. And I think of Al often, and I will always think of Al often. He and I tried to overcome some fairly insurmountable odds for 2 guys that had absolutely no idea about what a jet engine was supposed to do. We learned the best we could, and he took it that much farther, and I will think of Al often.
I'm sure. You did have an opportunity, though, for some redemption, though, didn't you?
Absolutely. I had spoken with both Al Hanna and his son Rich, who drove the Gojo jet funny car, and we talked a couple of times. Geez, why don't we get you back in one of the cars at some point in time? We'll fire it up and do some fire and some smoke and some burner pops. And yeah, geez, I'd love to do that. And then one day in August 2016, we put it together at New England Dragway. And just before the Jet Cars Under the Stars event, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we brought it up to the starting line, fired it up, and I did all the stuff that one does before a run. We did everything but make a run. Smoke, fire, burner pops, happy people in the stands, the old guy smiling inside the race car.
I mean, that's the best part of the whole jet dragster experience anyway, was watching that at the beginning.
And everybody thought that was Rich Hanna's trying to, check some stuff out to make sure it was okay, but it was me.
Just little old you.
It was me.
Yeah.
And what that did is we got to turn a page of a very unpleasant chapter and complete something that was left undone in my heart and in my mind. And I will always thank the Hannas for that.
That's
amazing.
I really will. That's amazing. So that brings us to this guy here on the table, Mr. Wally here. How did this come about?
Short of my family, Margie, Mark, Nita, Jessica, Alexis, Anderson, our grandkids, who are irreplaceable and so important to me and my life. Besides our family, who I will always cherish and love dearly, this is one of the most important things that have ever come into my life. And it's a Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Hot Rod Association that I was awarded in 2013 for my achievements in drag racing. I never thought anybody was paying any attention to anything that I have ever done. And this is very special.
This validates.
This is very special.
Yeah, this validates your career.
Very
absolutely,
special.
absolutely. This has all been amazing. But you know what? I didn't know about any of this before until you contacted me, because I know you from car shows. You know, I've been writing for our local paper here, Whoops Wheels, and we started with this channel last year. And I ran into you and Margie at a show in Andover, Massachusetts. I saw the car, the Nomad, and I said, I have seen this car at numerous shows, but I've never been able to speak to the owner. Let's pin him down. And there was this very nice lady sitting behind the car, and she said, I hope you have enough battery power to talk to my husband. And we had a very nice conversation, and we love that car. And and that's not the only car you have. You have another car, right? You have a Chevy?
We have a 1939 Chevrolet two-door sedan that's downstairs. Margie loves them both, but the yellow 39 sedan is her favorite.
Yes.
And that's okay. That's quite okay. We've had that for 23 years now, I believe.
Wow.
And it is a fine automobile. It is a great car. It's a cruiser and a half. It's still stylish. It runs well.
Yep. For those of you that follow our channel, that 55 Nomad
1955 Nomad
was featured briefly in our last episode up at On Point Works with Chris and his crew up there that are working on it. And you'll see it in the background there. We do discuss it briefly in that episode. But those are rare cars. They attract a lot of attention. I'm so glad that it's in the hands of someone who's done some great work with it. So if there was one word I would use to probably describe you, someone like yourself, it's definitely survivor. Between that accident in 1975 and then what for many people is a devastating diagnosis years later. What was going on there?
Memorial Day weekend, 2017, 2 o'clock in the morning. I get a kidney stone attack. I've had them. I know what they are. There was no doubt in my mind where it was. Margie gets me in the car and takes us up to the hospital in Newburyport, and to get the pain calmed down. The doctor says, "Gee, I'd like to do a CAT scan and see just how big this stone is." So they do a CAT scan from my chin down to my knees. And about 45 minutes later, the doctor comes in and he goes, "Well, we've got some news. We've got some good news. We've got maybe not some great news." He goes, "The size of your stone is 6 millimeter." And then he looks at us both, Margie and I, and he says, "Besides that, you've got a mass over here on the bottom of your left lung that you need to have looked at immediately." Wow. We both walked out of there saying, what did he just say?
Right.
And yes, indeed, through Margie's diligence and never taking no for an answer, we plowed through the system at breakneck speed because Margie...
How else would you guys do it, right?
Because Margie just will not, and especially in this insane situation that was served up on the table, she just smashed her way through the sometimes slow process. The results come back, 6 millimeter stone, mass over here they got to have looked at immediately.
Right.
Margie smashes through the medical system as quickly as she can. Time is of the essence, we think.
Sure.
We don't know that, but you don't want to wait on any of this stuff. And we go from Memorial Day weekend until June 20th, 2017, and I'm at Mass General, Margie and I are at Mass General, and we're getting ready to have a hunk of my lung taken out and hopefully get all of the cancer that we have been told is in there. An interesting side story to that is I've done a lot of hard things in my life. We all have to do hard things. That sort of thing just presents itself. But one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life was I had to look at my wife and I didn't want to say goodbye. Okay? I hate the word goodbye. I just looked at her and I think I said, "I'll be back." But in my heart, I'm saying, man, I'm 69 years old. This is a pretty big deal coming up. Are we going to get to the other side here? I don't know, but I had to look my wife in the eye, and I had to hop up on the gurney, and that was difficult. It was difficult for her, it was difficult for the both of us. But we made it.
Yes,
We
you
got
did.
to the other side. We have been, I'll always say we because I did the physical part.
Right.
Margie did the mental part. And that's just as hard as anything. And we go through scans every 6 months. And she does the worryings. I go through it. I am 98% convinced that everything's okay because I'm optimistic.
Right.
Always optimistic.
Sure.
And so far, for 8 years, we're going into 8 years now, there's no cancer. And we're due for another scan in March. And I am sure that everything will be fine once again. And on we go.
That's great. 8 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Both of you.
Oh yeah. No, we're both in this together. This is, I hate to drag her into this stuff, but
That's the game. That's the
that,
deal.
that is what it's all about.
Well,
And I couldn't do it without her.
No,
I might not be here without her.
Thank you for this opportunity for inviting us into your home, having this chat. Remarkable career, remarkable story. Again, I hope people take away a lesson from this. Like, never give up, because things happen. They lead to other things. And again, this is what our card culture is really all about. It's the stories. So again, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Dante. I sincerely appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And for those of you who like this content, if you want to see more stories like this, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. It's the best way you can help to support the channel right now. And please comment down below if you have any questions or you'd like to see something like this, or if there's some sort of topic you'd like us to discuss. We'll be more than happy to get back to you. So thanks for watching.